Welcome back to Witches the Moon. I'm your Friday hostess, Natalie. This week's topic is sigils. And we have talked about this topic before, so I'm going to try to approach it in a manner different than I have approached it in the past. Typically, when we talk about sigils, I talk about how I create a sigil and what I use and how I come up with my own, and then I kind of show how it's done. This time I'm going to talk about just in general, what is a sigil? And I'm going to give a little bit about how they are created in general. Now, a sigil is any kind of magical symbol used to convey an idea that's used in spellcraft. So a lot of times people will make sigils out of their names, so that, particularly their craft names, so that they can use that symbol in all of their spellcraft to represent themselves, and they don't have to put their name on everything. It's an image that instantly draws to the mind of the person doing the craft work that particular image, ideal, concept, etc. So when you are talking about general spellcraft, the pentacle is a sigil. It is a form of a sigil. It is an elemental sigil that represents the elements earth, fire, water, air, and spirit. So when we use the pentacle in anything, we're effectively using a sigil. Sigils can also be created just by free drawing. You can make one up completely out of your head, something that calls to mind for you something specific. So for example, if you were working on a money drawing spell, you might draw a sigil that looked something like this. You might use the dollar sign, or if you're English, you might use the pound sign, or you might use both, and you could use that as a sigil, and maybe even put scales, you know, have a scale next to it. Like here it's got a and then down here you've got maybe a scale here, so you might draw something like this. So you might have something like that with a scale to show that you're talking about something weighing more than something else, or money, or bringing it to you, right? You might utilize your name in here, your sigil for your name. So that could be a sigil. And this would be something that you would ascribe on candles, use on a piece of paper, anoint with oil, maybe carry in your pocket. You might use it in a talisman. There's a lot of different ways that you can utilize the sigil in spellcraft. So that's what we do. Why do we do them? Because it draws our visualization and our focus directly to the outcome that we want. When you create a sigil, you should have it created so that it represents at its ultimate, that symbol itself is the manifestation of whatever it is you're trying to do. Now, if you go on Pinterest, there is a person on there who has uploaded lots of sigils that they've created, and that's fabulous, and you can use those sigils if it calls to mind that for you, but I personally find that it's best to create your own, because then you're putting your own energy into it. Another way to create sigils that I've seen is to use a numerological chart, and perhaps like maybe you're trying to draw a specific amount to you, or you want to manifest something for someone, and so you would use their date of birth, and you would connect the numbers for their date of birth, and that would create an image, aligned image, and you could use that as a sigil to represent that person. So perhaps you might make a sigil with their name and then overlay the sigil for their date of birth based on the numerological chart, and that would add additional power to your sigil, if that makes sense at all. I was going to try to demonstrate it, but I don't have the capability on this computer to do that, and it's been acting really funny. It's been flickering a lot and doing some weird stuff, so I'm trying to get this done before my computer goes out on me all the way once again. So there it goes. See, there's that flickering. I know you can see that. So in any case, sigils are a symbol for manifestation. They help you to visualize. They're very powerful in and of their own, and I personally find that it's one of the more powerful forms of magic. I inscribe them on candles, I put them on sheets of paper, and I may burn the paper and then scatter the ashes to the four corners, or I may bury it. In any case, it is something that I use in almost every type of spellcraft that I do, because I find sigils to be extremely powerful forms of magic. So I encourage you to get online and look for videos on how to create a sigil, but know that there are lots of ways. There are entire books dedicated to making and using sigils. So I encourage you to get out there and do a little research, practice with them, and I'd love to see some of your work in the comments. I am certain that you guys have gotten all kinds of information about sigils and the use of sigils, so this video is gonna be pretty short. I will try to find my previous video or videos either from my channel or from Witches the Moon in past seasons where I have shown how to create a sigil. I know Sunshine Morning Ray had a really good video in season 1 or season 2 that showed you how to create a sigil. Might have been season 3. I'll go back and look for that, and I'll try to link that in the down bar so that you guys can just click it and see, because that's really how I got started with it. And then I just kind of expanded by adding pictures, by drawing sigils on pictures of people to help them. I use them in poppets also. I will sometimes put the person's sigil, name sigil, on the poppet to represent that person, so that I know that that poppet represents that person, and I will treat it as such. So those are other ways too, that and you can put it inside the poppet as well. So I hope y'all have a great afternoon, and blessed be.